So I'm currently arguing with some skinny bitch on some other influencer's post. And it's just so funny how ignorant skinny people are. Like, the influencer made a mistake, educated herself, yet so many people in the comment section are still not getting it. Like, this mother who I'm arguing with, she's making all the regular fat phobic assumptions that all overweight people are unhealthy, and that the BOPO movement is for everybody. And I've told her that it's a movement for marginalized bodies to fight systemic oppression. Yet she doesn't believe me or still thinks that she should be allowed in it, even though she's not in a marginalized body. And the last thing she said is so funny. And so she says that being fat should not be normalized. Yet she wants to be in the BOPO movement, yet she doesn't agree with anything the movement stands for. How hypocritical!
I said this once, and I'm sure I'll say it many times after this. There are no core tenets, doctrines, or rulebook for body positivity. Everyone has a different definition. And for most people, body positivity does not include normalizing being over 300 pounds. And even with your definition of body positivity saying that it is only for marginalized bodies, may I remind you that marginalized bodies includes women. All women. So I feel like you may just be bored if you're in people's comments telling people that your definition of body positivity is the one and only definition.
If I'm promoting obesity, where is my fucking check? Where is my affiliate link? When will Big Obesity sponsor me? I'm here, I'm willing, I'm already in love with your brand. Give me a check.
The money that is made when the fat acceptance movement convinces another person that being fat is perfectly fine or even healthy goes to companies like Heinz, McDonald's, and other corporations that have made money off of this person remaining fat. It doesn't go to you. Sorry. This video is honestly hard to watch. Nobody deserves to be shamed. All I can say is that if the creator of this TikTok finds this type of shaming funny, then I sincerely hope you get some therapy for what seems like a deep hatred of thin people.
This person says a lot of smaller people choose to sit in the wider chairs at doctors and hospitals, leaving me to either ask them to move or sit in pain. This is something that infuriates me. So thin people will talk about how thin privilege is fake. They will talk about how fat phobia is fake. They will talk about how we should not be accommodated as fat people. And then they will literally take everything meant for us. And it is absolutely infuriating. Like, if you're small and you see that there is one fucking chair that's extra wide, take your skinny ass and sit in any other fucking chair in the entire goddamn building and leave the double wide chair, the one double wide chair they have, for fat asses like me, please. Like, it is absolutely fucking infuriating to constantly be told that fat phobia is fake and that thin privilege is fake, blah, 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 and then see skinny bitches sitting in these fucking double wide chairs. It literally drives me nuts. Or seeing like two thin people sitting in the double wide chair, and I'm just like, no, it's not for couples, it's for fat people. Like, there are literally every other chair in the building is made for you, and you can't save these chairs for fat people. It's absolutely infuriating. Similarly to, like, when people thrift clothes and they take all of the bigger sizes, even though they literally could pick from anything in the store, leaving poor fat people completely screwed and unable to find clothes at thrift stores. Like, it's so frustrating. Thank you for this comment.
This creator said that thin people take everything that is meant for us, aka fat people. And that is such a wild thing to say. Certain chairs are not meant for certain people unless they are labeled as such. And to preemptively claim large chairs for yourself and then blame thin people for your discomfort is just rude. I feel like you have to try to be this obtuse. This is like if I parked in an unmarked parking spot close to the store I was going into, and then a disabled person came up to me and told me I shouldn't be parked there because it is for disabled people. If it doesn't say it's labeled for disabled people, then it isn't specifically for them. And I shouldn't be chastised for parking there. If there are spots labeled for disabled people, I have no problem with that, but if it isn't labeled for them, then they have no claim to it. This creator is being so unforgiving and say that a group is taking what isn't theirs is so disrespectful. If a chair or any other object isn't labeled for a specific group, then it is open to everyone. Period.
You know what else causes health risks? Being underweight, smoking, excessive drinking. literally so many different lifestyle choices.
Okay, so we agree. Being fat is unhealthy and a lifestyle choice.
The problem is, you guys don't have the same energy with any of those lifestyle choices besides fatness, which is most of the time literally genetic.
You just said being fat was a lifestyle choice, but go on.
You know what's not genetic? Choosing to smoke, choosing to drink, choosing to do recreational drugs. So I don't know. I understand that that this is why you don't want to be fat. I get it, because this is what biased health professionals want you to believe.
And also health professionals are biased if they don't believe that being fat is unhealthy and also genetic.
And this is what we've been taught. But please know that that's not necessarily true. And even if it was true, your worth does not deplete if you are quote unquote unhealthy.
The comment says absolutely nothing about anyone's worth, but I'll be sure to mark down worthy next to genetic, unhealthy, and possibly lifestyle choice because I'm still a little fuzzy on that one.
Thank you for your time.
You're quite welcome.
So this was generally speaking the most common good faith question on my last video, so I'll take a sec to expand on it. So obviously calories are an actual unit of measurement, right? It's the amount of heat that it takes to raise the temperature of something by 1 degree. That being said, I used calories are made up as kind of a shorthand for the fact that the way we interact with calories and the way we conceptualize calories in the context of diet culture is generally speaking made up. It's very influenced by diet lobbyists and health hysteria in the US. Also, please Google any of this to fact check me. 1, the calories you see on packaging are usually not accurate. It's a very imprecise science. 2, human bodies actually burn calories differently. So this prescriptivist attitude of calories in, calories out isn't actually accurate for most people. Different calories burn differently because of nutrients, and it actually hasn't been proven that lower calories help you lose weight.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First, I will agree that calories are something that have been used in the food industry as a marketing tool and that calories posted on nutrition labels are not exact. But nothing can be exact, and they are estimated to a relatively small margin of error. The FDA requires all calorie labeling to be within 20% margin of error, and most are going to be well below that. So a cookie labeled as 150 calories can't actually be 400 calories. To the point that different people burn calories differently. That's true to a small extent. Hormones, allergies, and other factors can lead people to process certain foods differently than others, but I don't understand how that is related to calories being some sort of construct. And some calories are processed differently in the body because of different nutrients, but that still doesn't explain why calories aren't real. That is like saying milliliters are a construct because your body processes different liquids differently. Like, yes, obviously. 20 milliliters of milk will be processed differently than 20 milliliters of coffee, but that doesn't mean milliliters aren't real. Overall, I am confused.
Translation: my fat phobia is so deeply ingrained in me that I think it's normal to hate myself for being a certain size. When in reality, if society wasn't fat phobic, I wouldn't be either, but it's easier to be fat phobic than unlearn that. Mine said so, I'm going to keep being ignorant.
Or it could translate to, I wouldn't be healthy at a bigger size. I don't know the specifics of this person's life, but most people that are at a normal, healthy weight don't want to gain too much weight because they know it's unhealthy. You don't need to go that deep.
In the body positivity movement, there's a lot of videos and pictures from skinny people with thin privilege, maybe a 4 or 6 size, who are posting pictures and videos like, oh, Instagram versus reality. They show themselves being skinny, and then they show the same picture where they look bigger. And that is problematic. Although it might help a lot of other women with similar body issues, like myself, I have a lot of body image issues. It's actually harmful because we're centering the conversation around skinny people with thin privilege. And this is a problem.
So I'm not sure exactly what conversation you're talking about, but it seems like it's a conversation about how unrealistic beauty standards are and how social media perpetuates it. With that being said, what's wrong with thin people acknowledging this unrealistic standard, and what's wrong with other people, thin or not, finding that content useful?
We need to be centering the conversation around people with marginalized bodies so that they can speak out. It's also a problem because we're still just showing one body size, one skinny body size that is already accepted by society. Like, we may have body image issues about that if we're that size, but in general, society's like, cool, your body's already perfect. So that might help those people, but it's not helping the system of oppression for marginalized bodies.
If a fat person wants to make an Insta versus reality post, nobody is stopping them. Again, I don't know what this conversation is, but a thin person posting content of them being thin is not centering themselves in a space they shouldn't be. You're basically saying that thin people are closer to the beauty standard, so they should shut up about their problems and insecurities and only let less conventionally attractive people speak. If you, as a thin or fat person, don't find an Insta versus reality post to be relevant to you and your life, then it wasn't made for you. Move on. You said it yourself that some people find these posts helpful, including yourself, so just let people have their shit.